Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, also reminding you to keep on checking for new episodes on Trenza Play. Very soon something good is going to come out. You'll be able to post your own content as well if you wish to do so on the application. Let us grow this platform. The message that I have for you, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as anonymous? I'm a South African woman and I have come here to just share with you my own story. It is very difficult to share with someone that knows me. My story, it goes on like this. I do come from a very wealthy family. My father migrated from Mozambique. We have strong connections with our relatives that are in Mozambique. He came to South Africa and we were told that he met my mother when he was working at a mine and he started staying at our grandparents' house. So they started dating, him and our mother, and they quickly made it in life and they started buying houses. And after that, my father, he started to have many relationships with other women, and this was the reason as to why they started fighting quite a lot, but they never got a divorce. They always stayed together. But my father, he had other kids that we knew, even though my mother never wanted those kids to come close to us. My mother never wanted anything like that. She always hated it when our father will do anything for his other kids, even to buy shoes. I still remember when I was still very young, I think I was somewhere around 13 or 14. I had this other half brother of mine. I saw him one day, he was going to school, and my heart was so much hurt because I saw that the shoes that he was wearing, knowing that my father was very wealthy, it broke my heart. So I started to save money. I saved some little bit of money, and after I had saved money, I then gave it to his mother. So the mistake that I did not tell his mother where I had gotten this money. So she just thought that maybe the money had been given to me by my own mom. The beating that I got from my mother when she found out, because when they met one day at this other funeral, that was when she went to my mother and she said that she was very grateful for what she had done to buy some shoes for her son. My mother was shocked. She did not even know that this had happened, and she came to me, she pinched me so hard, and she was like, I am going to see you, wait until we get home. By the time that we got home, then my mother, she was so angry at me, like she was really angry with me. She was swearing at me and she was like, why would you want to do something so stupid like that? I had never seen my mom so angry at a person like that. She beat me so bad. She made me to hate my other half siblings, but I always had the same love that my father had. I would always feel so bad when I would know that we are enjoying life, yet my other siblings, they were not enjoying life at all. So then I would always make a plan, even though my mom, she never wanted me to do such a thing for my other siblings, but I would always do it in secret. It then happened that my dad, he became so sick. So the problem that was there, my father never wanted to write his things down. He never wanted to have a will. He always did his things quietly. He never told anyone. So my mother and my father, they always fought because my father would always return to Mozambique alone. My mother, she would say, why would I want to go to Mozambique? Hey, tell me, what do I want in Mozambique? So she refused to go and play Makoti in Mozambique. So my father's relatives, they hated us a lot and they hated our mother. But when we were all grown up, when we were no longer under the influence of my mother, then we started to make our own decisions. Me and my brother, we then spoke and we said that Mozambique is home to us, even though we are South Africans. We have to go to Mozambique so that we can see our relatives. We went to Mozambique. We just asked for directions. We were already speaking with some of our relatives We did not even tell our father that this was what we were doing. He was even surprised by the love that we had shown to his relatives. So each and every time when he would go to Mozambique, we would always go with him. I would even go with my own children. So my mother was hated a lot. Whenever there was a function, all of my father's women, the ones that he had kids with, we would all get into the bus. My father had many Vito buses, so it would be like a small convoy of our tribe going to Mozambique, 3 or 4 Vito Mercedes buses that will take us to Mozambique for that gathering. When we would have gotten them, everything will be so nice. All of our relatives will be there. Only my mother, she was the one that was always missing. What my mother cared about the most was the wealth that my father had here in South Africa. But the problem was that there was no will. When my father suddenly died, before he had a will, I saw that now it was trouble that was brewing. There was trouble, Brother Nashi, in paradise. What happened was that my father, he made such a mistake to not leave a will behind, and everyone started fighting for everything, for the little pieces. Everyone was fighting for the pieces, and everyone started to go to different traditional healers. I then spoke with one of our auntie who did not want my mother to get all the wealth that once belonged to our father. She said that she wanted me to assist her, and I was supposed to go to Mozambique with my brothers. I want to confess that I did such an evil thing against my own mother. I don't know what South Africa will think about me, but I was also hating my mother because she now had a boyfriend. She was taking care of that boyfriend. She had recently bought him a German-made BMW that was shipped from Germany using my own father's money. That is what led me to the breaking point. I said that she cannot be doing things like this, yet my father's relatives, because I had my father's relatives that used to give me sleepless nights whenever I would have returned back from Mozambique, thinking about the situation that they were living in, and knowing that my father had a business empire that was being run by my mother. Now my mother was bringing this other man into the business that was not even related to us in any kind of way, and she was already spoiling that man, and he was very young. All that he wanted from our mother, we knew as a family that all that he wanted from our mom was money and nothing else, and after he would have made so much money, he was going to dump my mother. I went to Mozambique with the intention to make sure that my mother will get sick, but I never thought that my mother was going to be running mad until she dies. I was told that this was going to be a temporary thing. Me and my brother and my father's relatives, we made a decision, and we said that to save our father's business empire, this was what was supposed to happen. We were taken to a cave where all of us, we were told to go and poop inside of a clay pot. It was not a big one. After we were done, one after the other, we were told to carry that clay pot that had the poop back to South Africa, and we were supposed to feed this poop to our mother until she would have finished all of it and she will start to run mad. We came back and I started staying with my mother. I would cook food for him that I would not eat. She will eat the food that had the poop until it was all done. It took me 2 good weeks in order for me to finish all the poop that was inside of that clay pot. My mother, she started to run mad. The man that was after her, he packed his things and he left because we told him that he could not stay with a woman that was running mad. And then we started to change everything in the business. We fired most of my mother's relatives that were now in control. And us as my father's children, we then sat down and we created a family organization in which anyone who is part of the family can benefit. But what hurts me is that in order for this thing to happen, that was supposed to have been done by my mother. If she had shown maturity, it was done by us, but we had to hurt her so much. My mother was running mad, and it used to give me sleepless nights. Were we wrong to use charms against my mother. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Let us try to speak with him in the comment section. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Then there is another message that was sent to me. Let me try to look for that message. Where is that chat now? All right, the message that was sent to me by one of our brother, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nanshi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I am a man that is from Zim, and I know that out there are people that are going to say that I am such an evil man. I want to confess to you and the rest of your listeners that I used my South African girlfriend as a ritual sacrifice. So I also used to believe that love is for real, but after I had been broken-hearted by my wife twice, I used to be an illegal gold miner. So I would go into the mines and we would steal the gold, and this will take like 2 months living underground, digging up the gold illegally, all the dangers that you'll be facing. But yet my wife was busy sleeping around with other men in my own bed. I caught her the first time and I gave her a second chance, and she did the same thing again. Because of the knife that she had drove into my heart, I stopped believing in love altogether. Because of the pain, I then came to South Africa. When I came to South Africa, this was about 11 years ago. I then started to work on a lemon farm, which is in Guyana. That was when I met my girlfriend about 10 years ago. My South African girlfriend, she was pure, she was beautiful, and she thought that she believed in love stories, and she thought that love stories were for real. She wanted us to build a future together. She would always say that it is me and you against the world. She never knew that I was only using her because I just wanted to show the world that I can be loved by a beautiful, beautiful Black South African. When I was deported from South Africa, I went back to Zim. She would even cry, and she said that she was going to wait for me, and she said that she can't love another man because she was so loyal and she loved me with all of her heart. So years later, I made it back, but I did not go into the farms there in Guyana. I went straight to Johannesburg, and when I was in Johannesburg, then I met up with one of my friends. This was my friend from high school. He told me that he had joined a cult in Cape Town. So in this cult, you sell your soul for money, cars, and everything that you want. But then after each and every 9 years, if you do not sacrifice the person that loves you, truly loves you, then you die. You are supposed to love that person, and that person is supposed to love you back. So they let you to enjoy money for 9 years, but after 9 years, you are supposed to bring the soul of a person that loves you completely, that does not love you for your money or for anything, that is in love with you for real. So I started to enjoy money. I dated as many women as I wanted to date. Most of the South African women that would have never looked at me when I was broke, they now had set their eyes on me, and I would go to different clubs with all of these slay queens. So I knew that after 9 years, something was supposed to happen to me, and if I was not going to find the person that truly loved me, not for my money, then it meant that I was supposed to die. They give you 9 years to live, but it can be renewed. So what I had in mind was that I was going to sacrifice my mother after 9 years, because she was the only woman whom I knew very well that she loved me, and I loved her quite a lot. My mother was my option, but God had his own ways. In the 8th year, that was when my mother collapsed when she was returning back from the fields, and I knew that it was over for me. So I kept on thinking of the person that I was going to sacrifice. So the 9th year, it was last year in 2024, that was my final year enjoying money. If I was not going to find anyone who was going to be willing to be sacrificed by me, even though the person did not know that I was going to sacrifice them, then what it meant was that I was going to die. One day, when I was just scrolling through my Facebook looking for a woman whom I could make it to fall in love with me, not my money, then what I was going to do, I really did not even know. I then came across the pictures of this woman whom I had dated the past 10 years, and I had ran away from her and I had forgotten about her. So when I saw her on Facebook, she then accepted my friend request. She told me that she was very hurt because I now had money and I had completely forgotten about her. She was like, so this is what money does to a person. Once you have money, then you forget about those that you claim to love. I then apologized to him. I started sending her money, and I then went and I picked her up. This was last year, and I told her that I was going to make up for all the bad things that I had done. And then we spoke, and I drove from Joburg. I found her in Kiani, and she was just living a simple life. She now had a child, but still not married. She had been impregnated by another man whom she had thought was going to marry her, but he was a liar. She was waiting for me. When I arrived there, I was driving my Ford Raptor. She thought that her fairy tale had come true. She thought that I was a prince that had returned back to him. I told her to pack her bags, and she came with me to Johannesburg. It was so beautiful. So from November, when I picked her up, to mid-December, she lived with me. She cooked for me. We laughed, and we used to cuddle in bed. Every night she would whisper, sleeping on my chest, I knew you would come back for me. And I let her believe it. She did not even know that, like a lamb, she was being prepared for slaughter. On December 15, I drove her back to her village in Kiani. I gave her so much money, which I knew she was going to be used for her funeral. I said, here is the money. I want you to enjoy this Christmas. I knew that this was going to be her last Christmas. She was not going to survive 2025. For she was already marked by the spirit of death because of the rituals that we used to do, me and my cult members at night. When she was fast asleep in a spiritual deep sleep, my cult members would drive to my house and we would surround our bed, whilst we were naked, and we would walk around in circles, calling out her name, calling the spirit of death to come and take her instead of coming to take me, since it was the 9th year. The sacrifice had been sealed already. Then in May this year, she passed away. They said that it was cancer. I was called by one of a cousin who knew about me. A cousin-in-law also wanted me, but I ignored her. Why would I want to date a woman who only loves me because of my money? What benefit will she bring to me? I can only love a woman who will love me truly, so that when the next 9 years comes to pass, then I can use that woman that I am supposed to use. So now I have 9 more years to live, where I am going to be enjoying my own life. Then after the 9 years, then I will have to make another sacrifice again. I only sacrifice a woman that would have loved me with all of my heart. I swear to you, there is no woman that had ever loved me the way that this South African woman had loved me. But it is quite unfortunate that she had to die in order for me to enjoy the money. If she had forgotten about me, if she had not accepted my friend request, she could have been alive. But she thought that this was her own God who had brought me back to her. She did not know that wherever I go to, death always follow me. This is my own confession. When you post my story, please tell me. I'll be following through in the comment section. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Let us try to speak with him in the comment section. Also, let us talk about this issue in the comment section. Please keep on checking our Trenza Play for more episodes. I'll be back with another episode.